All right, welcome to the actual circuit. Now, if we go back to the diagram here, we're currently in the signal conditioning portion right up here, right in the beginning. This is where all the inputs will be coming from. They'll be coming in through here. This is just one of them. And then we have two probes that are going to be measuring that, signal. Now, what these mean is that these are just going to be connected to the corresponding probes, essentially. This way you don't have wires everywhere, jumbling everything up. It's nice and concise that way. So this probe 1 will be connected to this probe 1. This probe 2 will be connected all the way down here to this guy. Now, both sides are essentially the same as with the buffering and everything. So I'm just going to go over one half of them. This way it's nice and easy. So the signal's going to come in through here. It's going to be whatever the voltage is, it will be divided by 5. That's what this entire first voltage divider does. So this right here does, we'll just divide it by 5. Now we have different kinds of voltage dividers as well. We also have one that will divide it by 10, and that's going to be this section right here. This is what divides it. It'll be dividing it by 20 for the very last one, and then we'll go through this section right here. Now this right here is just going to be a buffer that it goes through, strengthen the signal a little bit more, and then we have a bunch of low-pass filters here that'll be attenuating it even further. This way it just drops off anything past 1 megahertz essentially. Now let's actually start choosing a signal. So I'm going to be doing sine wave today. And as you can see, that's what I was previously simulating. We're not going to be doing that right now. We're going to be doing a 10K signal at 50 volts. That's something I still need to simulate, so let's do it together. All right, just make sure that I'm not crazy. All right. So we go through that. Now, one of the hotkeys that I've learned since doing this is instead of going through the transient thing, see this right here, we'll be using Control-Alt-T. And as you can see, it used to have it at 10 microseconds because I was doing 253 kilohertz signals, and that ate up a lot of time. So I went from one so I'm going to simulate that. And apparently this wants to take a long time as well. It's probably a recording process. I'm probably going to speed this up or cut this out entirely. I cannot make people suffer through this with me. All right, and we are back. So it took not too long. It took like 2-3 minutes. Wasn't too bad. But when I finally finished simulating, bam, we got this right here. This looks a little bit crazy, but we can also do something like this. We could separate the curves. This we can see each and every single one. As you can see, we have the voltage dividers here of both halves of the wave, essentially. The line for the half would be like right here. You get the top half, the bottom half right here. Also get the different voltage dividers. As you see, this is divided by 10. 50 divided by 10, of course, will be 5. You got 5 volts right here. 50 divided by 20 will be 2.5. So we got right there, about 2.5 or so. And of course, 50 divided by 5 will be 10. And the same thing for the negatives right here on that side. Now to continue simulating this, we have to export this to Excel. This we can break up this entire file. Now this particular program cannot just import this to the next stage, which will be the voltage select down here. As you can see, we have to go through all of these stages to get one complete simulation. So we got quite a bit to go. So I'm going to export this as a text file. And as you can see, we're still in that other folder I was working in. We're going to be doing this right here. There you go. We got a nice new clean folder. This will be the analog input. If I could spell, that'd be wonderful. Wonderful. And we'll be saving this. Now the next part of this whole thing will be swapping over to Excel. And here, first things first, we have to now import it. So we're going to open up that file that I just made. And again, we're in the old folder that I was working in. Here's the text file that we just made. Now when we import this to Excel, this will be specifically a delimited file, tab delimited specifically. And it'll look something like this. Now this doesn't help us whatsoever when we go to the next stage, because in the next stage, we have to put all those, the 6 different signals into these guys right here. So we can select between which ones that we actually want. And we have one file with all the data in it, which doesn't help us. We need 6 separate files with that certain data in there. So let's go back to Excel. Now, this doesn't just naturally do this for us in the program. We actually had to make a macro for it. And we had to get this developer tab, which you have to go through the options for, and it's a huge mess. And sending macros to each other requires copy pasting Visual Basic code. Isn't that lovely? But hey, we got through it all. It worked out great in the end. So now we have the macros here. And what the macros do, well, like I said, they're just gonna take all this data, chop it up into 6 separate files for us so that we can actually import it into the next simulation. Now, oh, that's right, this was doing there, okay. So we're gonna split the samples up. We have the split sample macro right here. We actually had to make a second one because we ran into errors, unfortunately, with the other one, with the multiple times happening, especially at the higher frequencies. So the 253 was the big one, but we're not at that high of a frequency. So let's go to just split samples. As you can see, it's making a new Excel file for every single one of those inputs. So we have a total of 6. And now we have to essentially save them in that same exact folder. And Tina will only read tab delimited files. And so we have to save it specifically as tab delimited every single time. So that one's saved. File save as tab delimited. By the end of this thing, you are going to hate me saying that constantly. I'm going to say it so many times. Tab delimited. Tab delimited. Tab delimited. Save that and close new file. Save as tab delimited. Save as. Saving as tab delimited. All right, we're back to the original file now. I'm going to close that out. Now we get to go back to Tina. So we came from here. We got our 6 separate outputs for all these probes right here. And now we're going to input them right over here. And we'll continue this in the next video. I'll do a video separate for each one of these tabs right here. Maybe I shouldn't. I'll probably do the operations together. That might be the best way to do it. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.